Hi, I'm Aaliyah.
And I'm Johnna, and welcome to Lit
Welcome to
and
Lit and
Loud.
Loud. Let's hit it. Heck yeah. Hi, Diva.
Hi, Diva. How you doing?
I'm great. This is weird timing.
So good.
I'm sick. I'm full-fledged sick. We just got off of our interview that will be happening at the end of this episode, or the second half of this episode, actually. So we are like riding that high right now, but I am,
Mm-hmm.
on fumes. I like stayed out of real work so I could be like okay enough for this. I was like,
Locked in for the pod.
yeah, I was like, hey, my day job has to take a backseat quick.
So, yes, we are interviewing in the second half of this episode Maude Winters,
Yeah.
and we cannot wait to share that with you. We
Oh, so
recorded this
good.
out of order for the first time ever. So, if we talk about time weird, we're confused too.
Just know time is all a construct currently. How are
Real.
you?
I'm good. I have been crazy busy, which is okay, but I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's
Tired
like good
gals.
busy, it's a little bad busy. Still here, still selling real fake doors, still hanging out.
Here we are.
What are you reading?
Because I've been sick all weekend. You'd think I had time to like cuddle up with my Kindle. I've had like not. I've just been like, when you're sick and you want to be productive and you're like, I have so many
Mm-hmm.
things to do, and you
And
guilt
you lay
yourself
there
and
like,
you try. Literally. So that's how I've been for the past 3 days. But I did get some listening time in. I'm almost done with And Now Back to You by BK Borison. There was a steamy, snowed in scene that happened recently.
ooh.
Wrong season to listen to this in, but it is so good. I mean, she really eats with that, like the pacing of her books. I find that
Mm-hmm.
they're so, I mean, it's exactly what I want. I'm not waiting forever, but I'm still getting the yearning. I still get the like energy. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. And then I have a ton of Libby holds, and I have some other arcs that I have on my list. So I wanted to get back into Dungeon Crawler Carl, but I think I need to like get through some of these Libby reads because some of them are relatively short. It'll take me a day. Yeah, next week will be crazy. I'll have read so much by the next time we record.
Crazy. It's our reading wrap next time we record, so
Oh yeah, I'm
let's
gonna
get
pound pavement.
crazy. Hell
What are you
yeah.
reading?
I am probably 40% of the way through Gate of the Feral Gods by Matt Dinniman. I like this much more than our friends over at the Iron Tangle, I gotta tell you. It
Yeah,
just feels like a lot of new things are happening in world building and explanations of things, and there's just all these new layers of things happening. So I'm very into that because I don't feel like we made character development, but we didn't, outside of the
pushed it.
AI
Yeah,
failing in Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook, there wasn't a lot of world building updates, newly figuring out what's going on with
right.
the levels and things like that. So I'm really enjoying this. There's lots of little like things going on. And I received a Libby hold today, and I was kind of disappointed because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So a while ago, I put a hold on The Dare by Harley LaRue, and it had the new cover on it. And the new cover has Ghosted in it, a different novella or short story that they wrote to include like some middle ground between the Dare and Losers. So when I put this hold on it, I assumed that it wasn't going to come out until the Dare released later this summer, and it would have Ghosted on it. And that is not the
Right.
case. It's just the Dare, which is fine. But it's not what I thought it was going to be. What are you watching?
I am watching, so I've caught up on everything pretty much. So I'm up to date with all of my shows. That is The Boys. That is not The Testaments, actually. That's The Boys. I watched up into the newest episode of Euphoria that came out yesterday or Sunday. Yesterday was Sunday. Oh my God. Um,
Surprise.
so yeah, I'm plowing through it. I still don't feel good about anything. The only thing I feel good about is I only feel good about New Girl because I'm at that first interaction with Nick and Jess where they kiss and their feelings kind of unfold a little bit. So great lineup of episodes. They're like my three favorite episodes in a row. And then we started watching Remarkably Bright Creatures because I was super excited about watching it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's very good, but I fell asleep because I am sick. So
I'm sick.
I'm sick, but it is so far so good.
Mm.
Sally Fields can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah.
So
I didn't
yeah.
realize that came out. I definitely want to get in there.
Yeah, I think it came out this weekend sometime. So yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
been I
Yeah, I
mean,
think it
I'm
came
very
out the 8th.
excited to finish it. It's pretty accurate to the book,
Yeah.
like to the T, to
What
a
you've
T.
seen so far, you're in.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. So,
Very
what are
cool.
you watching?
I am watching. I'm desperate for something to watch. I'm in a rough patch. I have started an ER rewatch because I'm longing for the pit. It is understimulating in a way only mid 90s television can be, but it's kind of relaxing at the same time. I am caught up on Euphoria. I I know that you haven't watched the episode yet, but I do need you to know that Cassie goes on a podcast and it made me very certain that Cassie is just playing like Cassie is just Sydney Sweeney at this
Yeah, she
point.
was made to be this person.
So on the podcast, she's like, obviously, she's like an OnlyFans girl, and we're not shaming anyone, but she's like, I just think in today's society, men are allowed to express their desires. And I think that they're just really in a bad place and they're not allowed to be themselves and ask for the things they need. And I was like,
Yikes. But like she is Red Pill Queen. They
right,
love
right.
her.
They are just like gonna burn this character to the ground, and I can't fucking wait.
And I hope Maddie has something to do with it cuz I see her she's wiggling her way in a way
Yeah.
that I hope pans out the way that I intended to in
Mm-hmm.
my brain.
Right. And you watched this most recent episode of Margo? The one
Yes, I
after the
did.
Vegas one. Oh, yes. I
Christmas.
have something to say about this.
Oh,
Kenny
I have a
stepping
ton.
up. Kenny stepping up and saying that he's going to defend this family no matter what it takes when Margo gets doxxed. But also, Mark is the one that doxes her in this. This
So,
episode was such a departure
yes,
from
this
the
whole thing
book.
was.
Every single piece of it was a massive departure, and that landed so strange for me.
Yeah, Drew and I finished the episode and we're like, what did we watch? I had a ton of notes. I forgot about Marco completely because I watched it literally right after our episode.
Right.
The first we have to say though, the opening scene was incredible. Her as Hungry Ghost in this like alien
Mm-hmm.
drag is so good. The makeup artists eat, the stage eats, like everything is so well done and that the production is incredible.
Can I
Um
ask a question that might come across as stupid?
no.
Is she green
Well,
in the
yes.
book?
I think they do talk about putting body paint on her. I know she like pukes the silver paint as well,
Right. As someone
but I
who's
don't.
read
They
this
don't
book
talk about it in
twice
detail.
and discussed it in extreme detail, I don't remember her being green. I understand why she's green, but
Yeah,
yeah, I was like, does this happen?
I think it's just like an alien. She's an
Okay.
alien.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, going out with Becca too. I put that as a note. Pissed me
Mm-hmm.
off. I hate how
Uh-huh.
involved she is in the way that they have her. I don't know.
Agreed. Becca is not our friend. Friends.
Linda Lace Law. I was gonna text you when we watched this. Linda Lace Law, the pro wrestler, what's her name? Who what's
Nicole
her name? Who
Kidman.
plays it? Nicole Kidman. You were like, she has to be a bigger part, and I think that she is going to come in as Margot's lawyer.
She's what's his name?
Exactly. That's what I think is happening.
Yes. Okay, that makes so much sense. Oh, you're spitting. Aaliyah might be sick, but she's firing on all cylinders,
I took
team.
notes. I take notes when I watch. The montage with the CMAT song, this is just sidebar shit. The CMAT song in there was so good. I'm so tired of seeing Cheyenne and Kenny. Like, there's just so many scenes with them alone, and I just don't care enough about them. And it really makes
Hmm.
me mad that they are swinging it to Cheyenne being good, or if anything, feeling guilty about Kenny's actions, because I feel like they cannot take out the piece that Kenny is the one that reports her to CPS.
Right. Right. And it really feels like they're going to because of Kenny's
Yep.
big, stupid speech. I'm
Drew hit me with a crazy banger too when Bodhi came. I think it was like Christmas time and they were like doing stuff with the tree, and Drew goes, "Ah, Bodhi's like 15 years old here." He
but
cooked
for
me.
real.
Yeah, they got me with that one. There was a quote here that I loved where um, Cheyenne's very upset and she says, "Well, you're going the my colleagues at Bloomingdale's are good." I'm like, her colleagues
My
at Bloomingdale.
colleagues at Bloomingdale's. Yes, this was such a fucking thing.
Her dialogue is sometimes the craziest part of this. So good. I just wrote at the end of it, they're throwing this plot. Oh my fucking god, I'm so scared. What's gonna happen? I'm so mad.
Yeah, I just we're getting into unfamiliar territory, and I guess when this whole thing started, it felt really cozy because it was like, "Oh, I get to see
Yeah.
my story unfold." And now weird
Right.
shit's happening. And like, yes, I am all for them absolutely burying Mark. I think Mark
Oh,
deserves to
at
get
the
buried.
end, with
Him,
his
yeah.
mom calling him pussy, I was like, yeah.
But
She's like,
like
"Cause you're a
that and him
pussy."
deleting the nudes post, like, sure, I'm okay
Yeah.
with that pivot about her getting
Yes.
doxxed. I obviously don't feel good about it,
No.
but I don't think Becca deserves a redemption arc. I don't understand why they wouldn't. Maybe because, like, we don't get all the Mark backstory. They wanted to build him up as a worse person. Also, that process server was really doing all the work. He was cracking me up
Oh my
both
god.
times.
hundred
He's not
percent.
home. I can see him right behind you. That made me laugh.
Oh, here. Okay. Euphoria.
Yeah.
First off, I had a burp in the middle of that. First off, the music is so bad because a labyrinth is not there, and it completely throws the feeling. I think that's what it is, because I got to episode 3 and the wedding scene, they walk in and it's some weird twinkly music, and I was like, Maddie walking in looking that fucking good, the fuck good,
That
the
good.
fuck good, and nothing like with a bass in the back, nothing. Everything was so bad. Everything was so bad in that whole
Hmm.
montage. So stressful. She's eating fucking Cassie up at her own wedding. That whole, like, the whole wedding episode and the scenes with them dancing and her Cassie figuring it out and the
The
neighbor
lead up,
flipping.
the lead up to that wedding with him hyperventilating
Oh my
and
gosh.
her sobbing walking down the aisle was so uncomfortable. And I think that
So
tells me that
uncomfortable.
they are doing a good job with this season because they were able to deliver emotions to me sitting on my couch.
100%. The
Oh my, I was
flowers.
sick to my stomach. That's $100,000 worth of flowers.
The flowers. I was like, okay, these people are crazy.
They are Gorgina though.
They
I
are
was like,
gorgeous.
yeah.
And lastly, because I ended up episode 4 because I got it today. But
Hmm.
Nate Jacobs begging on his hands and knees and getting his ass fucking beat was porn. And that's all I have to say.
Can we talk about Fez calling Rue?
No, we can't, because I can't handle that shit.
That was so sweet.
It was so sweet. I'm glad he's like included in some capacity. It's just so
Same.
sad.
And someone did a zoom in, and there is a picture of him and Rue is Rue's phone background. So
Well, strike me down. That's
I
just
would rather have that little involvement with an actor than whatever the fuck they did with Eric Dane. Because again, I don't feel good about it.
I think it's just extra sad. Like, I mean, both scenarios are sad. They're both dead,
Hmm.
but like Eric Danes was battling a disease, like, and they use
Yeah.
the disease as a plot point and not
Mhm.
they use the like physical symptoms of that
Yeah.
disease. That felt icky. It just felt icky. I think that's what it is.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have mind if he was like he had ALS in the show and he was deteriorating and he owes
Right.
money to his care. Like I
Right.
said, we could.
Raise
I just wrote a
awareness, talk
plot.
about this disease. Yeah.
No, these. Yeah,
If
no,
you
they're
can
not doing that.
fully change Nate's personality, you can make his dad have an actual disease instead of just being an alcoholic. Thanks.
Period.
What are you obsessed with?
I'm obsessed with one thing and one thing only.
Tell him. It's coughing.
I'm obsessed with Harry Styles and his new little music video to Dance No More, which is one of my favorite songs off the album. And he's dancing his little white boy ass off. I just love when a little white boy catches a vibe. And that's it, honestly. He's wearing tiny shorts. Drew and I were like, all
I
right,
saw a still of the tiny shorts, but I didn't know what it was from. So I'll
give it
have
a
to get in
watch.
there.
Just give it a watch. It's fun. It's a little groovy.
I'll give it a watch.
And that's all I have to say. And I'm obsessed with my
Incredible.
bed.
Yeah.
And Western medicine.
Yeah. Yes. Science. We love science. Science made us mattresses. Science has made us feel better.
What are you
Cut
obsessed
the camera.
What are you obsessed with?
I'm obsessed with two things. One, I got a little drunk on Friday night and FaceTimed Aaliyah, and she answered while she was in the shower, and I really respect that level of commitment to hearing me and my thoughts. And I'm sure she felt bullied into it because I did call 3 times in a row, but we did have a very productive conversation.
Not at all. I was just like, are you prepared for this? Because I'm showering. I talked
Get
to
in.
Miranda in the shower. I'm like, the shower is my safe space. So, like, I
Same.
get it. And I'm in there probably every once a day at least, if not twice, because I am that person. And I will not change and I do not fucking care. So, yeah, you might catch me in the shower and I might answer your call in the shower. It's fine.
And I was like looking at your location and the time, and I'm like looking at Gabe, like, what's she even doing? Meanwhile, I'm in public. I'm out at a bar. Like, the only thing I need to do right now is call my friend. And then she picks up, and I'm like, I can't hear you. Hold on.
Goes to the bathroom, talks to me.
My dumbass. And then I am obsessed with one more thing, which is our Rhinestone babies.
Oh my god! It hit the light.
Is it doing it?
I
am rhinestoning us tote bags for all uses, but definitely for the book fair at Bel Air. And I'm just so excited about these. And they're a little crossbody with an adjustable strap. And they're really nice. They have an inside pocket. They were like super cheap from Amazon. And I'm just chipping away at them. So Elee and I will have little matching rhinestone bags to hand our bookmarks out of. Can you believe it? Yeah. So I'm so excited about this. I'm going to handle Millie next.
Millie.
Yeah, so I'm going to do Millie next, and then like the color around the books for like the spines and everything. And I'm going to go from there, but I'm really excited about this project because it is fun, and it's really fun to see our logo, like just when we got the bookmarks too. It's really fun to see our logo on something. And
I know.
Merch!
Wait till I can wear it. Yeah, I want to be able to like wear a giant logo. All right. Well, you're going to hear a great interview because you know what? I was there for it with Maude Winters, the author of her newest release, Love on the West End, which recently came out. Yeah, it was fabulous. And enjoy.
Yeah. Take it away past us.
So weird. Today's guest writes romance that feels like stepping into the spotlight, bold and a little campy, and full of characters who refuse to play small. Maude Winters is a pansexual, disabled author known for her open-door sapphic and billionaire romances where the characters are powerful, messy, and always worth rooting for. Her newest release, Love in the West End, is giving second chances in the spotlight. A decade after lighting up the stage together, two former co-stars are reunited for a Broadway revival and all the chemistry, tension, and unfinished business that comes with it. It's a sweeping sapphic romance about love under the lights, found family, and what happens when the past comes back for an encore. And if you've read her other books, you already know she delivers on the camp, the steam, and the characters who fully commit to the bit every single time. We are so, so excited to have her on Lit and Loud today. Welcome, Maude.
Woo!
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, we're so
Yeah.
excited to have you.
So happy to be here.
Let's dive right in. We always ask each other. Let's ask you, what are you currently reading, watching, and obsessed with?
So right now I actually started this one that I picked up at the reader event that I hosted this weekend. So Tell Me Not to Kiss You, and this is by Elee Rose. And it's really, I had been really excited. So when I found out she was coming to sign at the event I was hosting, I was like, yes, I'm gonna buy this book. So far so good. I'm really enjoying it.
Nice.
And watching right now, I just finished The Dark Wizard, and I've become like a little bit obsessed with weird like mountain climbing things, which my best friend is so sick of me sending her. She is a mountain climber. She's so sick of me sending her stuff about these guys. She's like, they're insane, they're aggro, their base jumping is weird. Like these are like way out of left field. These are not the people I hang out with. And I'm sure she's like, I won't even hike, right? Like I won't go up a hill. I won't like go up a hill. So like she doesn't understand why I've gotten into this thing. So
I
so
love that.
I just finished watching that, and I'm also now obsessed with like crazy people that decide to climb mountains and why. Like it's their motivations. This is my new hyper focus. My husband is so sick of hearing about it. My best friend is so sick of hearing about it. I don't know why I've become hyper focused on it. It's usually planes, but now this is mountain climbing.
Yes.
That's what I'm obsessed with.
Hey, there's no rhyme or reason sometimes. Sometimes it just feels right. And I get that. I get in like a loop. Johnna and I know obsessions. Obviously.
I'm very into watching Naked and Afraid and have no interest in survivalism, so I hear you.
I get that. There was a time we went away for a weekend without our kid, and we watched that show, and it was so weird, and we just kept watching it on repeat. It was like a train wreck. We couldn't look away, and we just kept being like, why is this a thing that people do? But we just couldn't stop watching it. It was very satisfying in a way. I don't know why exactly.
It's just like fun to see, and then the wrap up with like how much weight they lost and like all this stuff. And I've watched all 19 seasons and all the offshoots, which is crazy. And I'm like invested in these characters. They're not even characters, they're real people. There's people that have been on the show so many times. They've been out naked in the wilderness for over 300 days combined.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm like, tell me more.
That's okay. I watched 90 Day Fiance, so I watch all of the spinoffs. I'm terrible. I watch so much trash TV. So much.
Wait, did you watch the season that premiered last night?
No, I haven't gotten. Don't spoiler it.
No spoilers.
Actually, I wouldn't care. I'm not big on like avoiding spoilers. But I have been on the Reddit. I go to Reddit for everything. And I go back to, I'm just a lurker, but I'm constantly on that subreddit. And I have some idea about what happened, but I literally don't know who some of these people are that have been in prior seasons. I'm like, there's so many different franchises at this point, and then there's Pillow Talk, which I don't watch. I have no idea what's going on, like at all.
So we got a new season of 90 Day Diaries and a new season of classic 90 Day Fiance.
Oh.
Both those episodes dropped this morning on HBO, so buckle in. We'll get a new episode, The Single Life, tonight. I watch all the offshoots. That was like my COVID project, was I backlogged everything and then caught up. And then once I was on this timeline, I was like, I guess I'm indebted forever.
For me, it was Married at First Sight. That was my like obsession. Like we got like another streaming service just so I could watch Married at First Sight. And my husband was so sick of it. He was like, please stop watching that trash garbage. It's terrible. Like he can't handle it. He's too high and mighty. He just watches weird anime. And that's his whole thing. And like, we're not talking like beautiful anime. Like, there's some really beautiful, wonderful anime. No, it's like the weirdest stuff no one has ever heard of, and the theme songs are terrible. Like, these are
Oh, the
not
theme
good theme
songs.
songs. You need a good theme song. There are some that are
Yeah.
just bangers. That ain't it. That ain't it. So I'm just gonna
Does
give him.
he like secretly get invested though? Does he ever like come
Oh
in and he's
yeah.
like, "Oh, they're still together?" Cuz my boyfriend does the same thing. He's like, "I hate these people. I hate that they're always yelling at each other." And then all of a
Yes,
sudden he's like, "They made it? They're getting married?" And I'm like, "Hey."
he does, and he's he's gotten to the point where so the pit was one of those that he was not invested in at all because he doesn't like gore. He's like very opposed to gore, ironically.
Mhm.
Now, if it's cartoon gore, it's fine, but if it's real gore, it freaks him out. So he won't watch it, but he listens to it, and then he got invested because there was one episode that was particularly emotional, and he was like, "Women really have to go through this," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, they do," and he's like, "That's so awful." Like, I am so angry right now on the behalf of all women. And I was like,
Good.
thanks for being angry. But he got really invested in my insistence that Santos was like bi. And I'm obsessed with that actress. Like straight up, marry me,
Mhm.
please. Like obsessed with her. And like she went off on there's also Broadway lore here, right? So
Yep.
too.
Yes.
But
Yes.
We're
like to
tuned in.
fully devolve, I was like, she's queer. I 110% know it, know it, know it, know it. And then when it happened, he was like he was like watching or he was playing Pathfinder, which is like D&D with his friends. And I started screaming. I'm like, yes,
I was
she's
right.
she's queer.
Hey.
I called it. I called it. And he turns around and he's like, is she gay? And I was like, yes.
Yes.
They
Oh,
didn't
that's
queer bait us. And his
gold.
friends are
Oh,
hearing all of this and they're like, what is going on? And he's like, oh, my wife
Oh my
called
god.
it. And he's like, what? And he's like, I don't have time to explain it.
this
It's
sounds
fine.
so deeply familiar to our lives.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like copy paste.
Yeah. We live
Just
this too.
clocking everyone. I love clocking characters too. Like you're like
Same.
a season beforehand. You're like, do not queer bait us, but it feels good when you're right. And I feel like The
Yes.
Pit is one of those shows that they could really do anything. And I'm like, they're doing it with the purest of hearts. They're doing this for it's just like required read. It's a required watching. That's how I see it. Like your
Yeah.
husband being
It
like, that
is.
actually happens. Like my mom's an ER nurse, was an ER nurse. She is a nurse, and she's like always she texts me at the end of the episode, she's like, yeah, I've been through something like that. And I'm like, what?
What?
I was like, you lived this. Like it's just
Yeah.
everyone should be watching The Pit, and that's my hill to die on.
I
It's so
feel the
good.
same way. And the cast is great. There's so many
Mm-hmm.
trans actors and trans characters and I love the representation there and it's been well, I mean there's so much crossover. There was even L word crossover. There's just like I just love the pit. I'm sorry. I had like 1,000 likes on a thread that I posted. I got like really angry and like a bunch of people followed me from it and I was like, I don't know you. I don't know why. Like my one it's always like the comments on threads that you don't think anybody will care about, and then they go completely off the rails.
Threads
Like
has
there was one today
power.
even. It does, but it's scary. Like I
Mm-hmm.
commented on one that was like, I don't understand the sapphic. It was Katie Roberts shared. I don't understand the sapphic how I won't read sapphic romance because I don't understand the mechanics of it. To which I replied, maybe they could pick up a book and read it and
Read it and
understand.
learn.
Like,
Yeah.
but it's like stuff like that that I'm like, it's this is what people are gonna see, and they're gonna be like, yeah, I'll follow her, and I'm like, you have no idea what you're agreeing to follow.
Buckle up.
Yeah. Well, you're in good company. Maybe we should have just made this like a Pit recap episode.
Right.
Next time we'll do that.
Sorry.
We'll have you
That's
back
fine.
on. We'll have you back on for
When
that.
season 3 comes back, we can kiki about
I
the
will
premiere.
I will come. Yeah, I will
Yeah,
come back
expect an email.
anytime.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So, how did you get started writing, Maude?
I have been writing as long as I can remember.
Mhm.
I wrote serials like way back in the day on LiveJournal, which dates me terribly. But I had like a loyal group of followers that I would write serials for. And then in college, I kept it up. I wrote through Blogger. I would post these chapters to really the same, like many generations back of the same family I'm writing from that Leah is a part of. I've written Leah since she was conceived, um, like, and her dad since he was conceived. So when I say like I've been doing this a long time, I mean I really have been, and I kept writing for fun. But then after I graduated with my PhD, I got a job and I was writing just for my sanity. And during the pandemic, I had a child that was 3 years old that was home with me. I had no childcare. I was working full time plus, 50 plus hours a week. And I just needed a break. So I would barricade myself in the basement. My husband would close the door to my basement office, my hovel, and I would stay down there and write. And at some point, he's an author as well, and he's my line editor. He was like, "I don't know why you're not publishing this. Like, why aren't you just publishing it? Somebody would read this. I guarantee
Right.
somebody would read what you're writing." I was like, "Nobody would read it." And then finally, I was sitting and rereading Red, White, and Royal Blue at an airplane terminal after visiting my parents. They live in South Carolina now. I was coming back and I was sitting there having a meltdown because my bag had broken and I had a 5-year-old child with me, and there was so much going on right at the terminal. And I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and read. My kid is calm. They're on their iPad. It's gonna be fine. And I was like, you know what? I should really release some of these books that I've written. And so I went home and I was like, I'm gonna publish those books. And then I started doing it, and that's now it's been 3 years. I don't know how many top 100s I've done in categories now. I actually don't know. It was really exciting the first time it happened, and then after I was like, yeah, but I've been doing it a while. I actually know what I'm doing a little bit more now. Um, but I've still got way long to go. But it's been an incredible 3 years of just doing it because I can and I want to. And so I just keep writing. It's really my favorite thing.
Oh,
How fully finished were books that you were writing before you were able to publish them, if you were just writing for fun?
Yeah, so these books, so my Regency and Rivalry series is the first one, and that my first book, London Season, came out in February of 2023. And I had the entire series written before I released that first book, and I had already started on the second series. So that first series, George and Patrick, George's parents are that series. And the second series, George and his sister are the second generation in that series. And then the third series that came is my Resplendent Royal series. That one I wrote in 2023 until 2024, and then I released it. So I had a lot of back catalog, and I'm also like a
mm,
machine when it comes to dropping words when I'm in good standing. But
Mhm.
editing, I hate. I love developmental edits once I get started. I hate line edits, and my husband can attest to this, which is why he leaves me spicy, stupid comments in the margins that I then will inevitably forget to take out until I'm doing a listen through, and I'm like, I accepted that change, and I'm an idiot. Um, he just he does it to entertain me, I guess. He doesn't do this to regular editing clients, just me. I'm
Right.
special, but yeah, I write a lot, and I have this series that Love in the West End is out of. This series is 3 books, and those are written, and then I have a series to follow it, which has some of those characters in it as well.
oh,
So
get out.
they're all in one universe. I write everything in the same universe.
That's
Wow, that's
incredible.
incredible. I would like to be in your brain. I just think that's
No, you
so.
wouldn't.
I had a
Run.
feeling you'd say that. That's what I would say. No, I feel like that is such a huge undertaking, but like it obviously seems so natural to you. And I feel like we need to thank your husband and Casey for, helping us get your books out into
Right?
the world. Like I'm so
Yeah.
glad that, I mean, airport meltdown is real, but yeah, you could tell that there's a lot of world building and love into like creating these worlds in your book, so thank you for that.
Yeah, Casey's book was definitely like a comfort read. It's still, I mean,
Mm,
I have I think 2 copies of it in various over there on that bookshelf. But they wrote this book that, I mean, every book is crazy. And I as an autist probably have a million comments about royal realism in books because I so highly research these things. But as far
Mhm.
as I'm concerned, that's like a Roman Empire book and you can't say anything to me about what they wrote. So I won't critique it. I will critique
Real.
the movie, but I won't critique the book.
Real.
That's how
Yeah.
we feel about the pairing.
The pairing. I was gonna say the pairing is
We
our
Yes,
love the
love
pairing
it.
so
it's
much.
up here
We
somewhere.
cannot shut up about it. We cannot stop recommending it. I just reread it and I'm like, it's the
Gold.
perfect book. I have no notes.
No notes. Love it. Love it.
What does writing look for you as an indie author, and how do you fit it into everyday life? I know it seems like you have a whole household of authors over there.
We do because my kid would love to be an author too. They are adamant
Oh,
they will also be an author.
That's so sweet.
And I love that for them. But man, their stories are wild. They were writing like a sapphic horror romance at one point, which one of my best friends is Tyler Page, and she writes horror romance. And I was just like, there is a market for this, but that is
there
an interesting thing to start writing at age 9. I really don't know what to think about that.
Yeah, that's kind of impressive.
it is.
I want them to continue working on their craft. But they did bring a page to my husband to edit, and their dad was like editing it, and they were like, this is dumb. Why you gotta change everything?" And I was like, "Well, people pay your dad for this service. Like we." They're like, "Why would I sign up for that abuse?" And I'm like, "Exactly. That's."
Yes.
So I would say that for the most part, I do my writing on weekends. So I will go to a cafe and drop 5 to 6,000 words in a 4 hour period of time, which is an insane amount of words to
Yeah,
drop
that's
in
really
that period of
impressive.
time. But that is the time that I have. If I do a writing retreat, my goal is usually 20,000 words in a weekend. And so, which is also very ambitious, but I usually do meet it. And people hate me because I'm like, no, I gotta keep going. And then I get distracted and talk to everybody, and it's the worst. But I love my
Relatable.
friends; they're the best. But I primarily do my writing on weekends, sometimes in the evenings. It's really hard with a kid who's in activities to do that. I often write on Sundays as well during roller derby practice because my kid is out there for hours,
You have
and
a little
it's
junior
like,
derby skater.
yes, they are a derby, and they are a heck of a jammer, and they're
Oh,
little and fearless.
that's so
Aw.
fun.
Yeah, I
I
love
played
them.
for 7 years, and
Really,
yeah, watching the junior skate was always the best because they don't I'm afraid to fall on concrete, but you don't care.
they swear they bounce, right? And I'm just like,
Yeah.
we went to this big competition in Cincinnati with them, and they skated, and they put them in their coaches are amazing, but they put them in so many like parts of like every
Mhm.
single jam. They were out there for a while, and I was just like, I
Okay,
can't.
athlete.
I can't. You're 9 years old. So they're 9. But I love that the sport is so queer affirming, so trans affirming. Like my kid can be
Mhm.
whoever they are. All of the kids can. And the kids are great. But yeah, you'll see me there at derby practice, and I'll have my headphones on, and I'll be writing or editing something really, really spicy, and nobody knows. Nobody
Nobody
knows.
knows.
Nobody looks at my screen, thank God. I used to be swim practice, and there would be this guy that would inevitably sit right behind me with his son, and I'm like, "Fafo, like, this is
Yeah.
not you don't
Yeah.
want this." I
If you
tried to
wanna
sit
read
as
over
far
my
away from
shoulder, that's on
everybody.
you.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
if your kid is scarred, if this teenage boy sees what I'm writing and he gets scarred, well, that's on him. So,
Big
I would say
time.
I did all of the edits for Love in the West End at derby practice probably, and I cried a lot. But I probably spend more time editing at night and on lunch breaks, and that's when I probably get the most amount of my, editing and, uh, just random social media crap, all the things you need to
Mhm.
do as an author, but most of my writing happens on weekend mornings. That's when I'm most productive.
You're making it happen wherever you can
Yeah.
squeeze it in.
You
Yeah.
gotta do that. That's I think one thing I tell people is, like, if you're looking to write a book, You need to have a consistent writing time that you can commit to, and then you need to protect it like it is the most sacred thing you do. Like, there have been times when we have turned down various activities that our kid could do because it's so important for my sanity for us to preserve that writing time. I mean, it was the only thing that got me through postpartum depression. It was the only thing that got me through a pandemic. Like, it has improved
Mm.
my mental health and given me something to be excited about. And so, even when I was in like the very dark part of PPD, my husband was like, you need to leave the house and you need to go write and then don't come home for several hours. Like, and we were very tight on money at the time, so, like, going out and spending money on coffee felt very frivolous, but now I
Mm.
realize, like, it was the only thing that probably preserved my sanity.
Absolutely. Yeah, that time is special, and like you said, it does need to be treated as such. Like,
Yeah.
not only because, you're putting your heart and soul into, creating this body of work, but also, like you said, for your mind. That is something I think we take for granted in anything that we do. And John and I talk about this, and like every time we get on this mic, it feels like therapy. And what a special time that we can always look forward to every Thursday, hopping on and chatting and making like having a connection with a friend, especially because we're long distance. It's really important. So yeah, that time for you is integral to keeping sane.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally understand.
Okay. For listeners who haven't picked it up yet, what is Love in the West End really about? And what made you want to tell this story?
So, Love in the West End is a second chance between two former rivals. They start as rivals, Lourdes or Lords, depending on how you pronounce it. And Leah are two characters. British people say Lords, we'll say Lourdes. Like, it's all good either way. It's a second chance about Leah and Lourdes, who are rivals at the beginning. Lourdes feels that Leah stole her part and that she's a Nepo baby. And then she starts having feelings for Leah, who has big main character energy, but is also probably like the most warm and giving person you'll meet. Um, like I said, I've been writing Leah since she was conceived and I love her, but I feel like I'm more connected to Lourdes. Like, she and I have a lot in common in type A,
Mm.
crushing family expectations, lots of other things that probably make us stressed. But they end up coming back together after two really damaging relationships that kind of imploded. And it's really a story about two millennial women finding each other again, finding themselves, and trying to build a family and deconstructing comp het. Like, just really getting down to what does a family look like and discussing like what their lives could be if they could just live them the way that they want to and get beyond
Mm.
that, because they've been in these careers, they're very famous, they've been very successful. There's a lot of risk with being out for Lourdes, especially because she is has taken all this time off. And then
Mhm.
Leah has just blown up, but she is really wealthy, independently wealthy, and has a big family name and can do whatever she wants. Whereas, Lou is not and is really struggling to find her way. But with Leah's help, they can figure out where they're going. So that's kind of the story. Where it came from, my kid actually asked me for a bedtime story with two femme characters in it, and they wanted me to make them a love story that had these two femme characters, and that turned into a Vela back when Vela was a thing, and that was a complete different reimagining of it. And then this draft is like, I don't even know how many drafts in from what the original concept was, and obviously it's very spicy. So that was not the bedtime story,
No.
but that's really where it originated. Was I had Leah, who I loved, and I've written her in so many different books as a side character. So I was able to give her a story. And Lourdes just arrived. Like, I was just like, I love this character. I don't know why I'm not writing these two. So I did.
That's so fun. And it's so fun that you'll always have that, like, this came from a bedtime story and I ended up with this. And that's so the creative process is thinking of this tiny thing and then it just exploding into this massive production.
Yeah, and they're like lore in our family now. Like, they exist. Like, they are characters that somehow we talk about like they're real people that we know, which isn't every character, right? We don't have every character like that, but there are some that really touch you. Certainly these two do. And now that it's broken the top 100, Now I have to get a tattoo of it on my leg because I said I would do that. And that'll be my
Yes.
first tattoo. So then they'll be cemented even in my body. So I can't do anything about it. They're just here. I'm not
I love that.
complaining, but I promised to do it and then it happened. So last week, less than a day after it released, I was like, okay, now I'm getting a tattoo.
Does your kid feel like a sense of ownership over the characters, knowing that they were the catalyst?
My kid has no trouble with self-confidence. So yeah, no, they think that they inspire everything. They're very much an only child and in every way. And they're very theatrical and campy and use drive speak like it is their job. So yes, they absolutely think that they inspired this. They love that they got to be a part of it. The only thing that they don't like is that there is a piece of artwork they can't see that that I ordered that they're very obsessed with art and I can't show it to them because it's a tripping scene and I can't show
It's
it
a
to
little
them.
inappropriate.
So, yeah.
Just wait till you're older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you won't want to see it. Is
Exactly.
what their
Right.
dad says. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's hysterical. Yeah. How do they interact with the book? Because obviously they can't pick it up and read it. Or
I mean,
did
we
they?
just tell them they can't read the book. They're not allowed to. I mean, they could read the book, but they're not going to.
Right.
They're not allowed to read my books, and I tell them not to Google me, but they know my pen name, and so they'll go on because I use a pen name. They'll go
Mhm.
on and try to find me, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I saw this thing." But one time, somebody had put my entire book into AI and created a review of it, like within 2 days of it publishing. And so royally benevolent. This was my third no, this is my fourth in series for my Resplendent Royals. This would have been about a year and a half ago. And it had only been out a couple of days, and they had already ingested it into a LLM and created an entire podcast that was 45 minutes long about the book. And my kid found it on
Ooh.
YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is shocking.
And I was like, well, why are you Googling me? Also, please don't do that. And thank you for finding this because it was actually on Patreon. They were making money on my book along with other books. So I had to go to
Okay.
Patreon and have them take it down. And YouTube took it down before Patreon did. So that was fun. But yeah, they did an entire podcast about my book and it was so weird. And it was wrong. There were many parts that were wrong, but it
Well,
was just the
obviously.
creepiest uncanny valley stuff that you could imagine. It was so weird.
Wild.
So they like wrote a script from your book and then retold the story and
They
not in
retold
a
it.
review or recap sense.
So they did, but they were obviously they had ingested like my Goodreads reviews and thus they had the reviews there that they were literally stealing and my husband was like he's on Goodreads at this point as we're listening to it. He's like, they're stealing quotes from your reviewers, like your ARC reviewers. They're stealing quotes from them. And I'm like, that makes me even more angry because those are their words and the LLM should not be ingesting them.
What?
It was so creepy. It was
That
a new
is
level.
wild. I have never heard of anything like that. And
Same.
as two girlies that are like reading and typing and recapping, I'm like, that feels so icky.
It
I
was
didn't even know
really
that was an
icky.
option.
I had to add like a part to my copyright after that about LLM training, which everybody had to do because this was like the time that it was all hitting. And then
Yeah.
Amazon released that creepy feature no one asked for about the summarizing your Kindle book thing that we all hate. And for some reason they decided to do,
Ugh.
which yeah, definitely violated my copyright. It's like I have no control anymore.
Right. We can't escape AI, but that's terrifying.
bonkers.
Yeah, it was weird. And it felt weird to my editor, who is also a podcast host, who was like, I don't even know what to say. This is so creepy.
Right.
It was terrible too. Nobody should listen to that podcast, but it wasn't just me. It was like they had like 70 videos that were all just like that. Like they had just pulled new releases. It was so weird.
Was it real people talking or was it AI talking?
No, it was AI talking.
Oh.
It sounded like
I'm so floored.
it sounded like
Same.
a fresh air segment. Like that's what it sounded like. It had like a NPR sort of tone.
Oh.
And that's what it sounded like. It's like, because they enter and they were like, my name is such and such, and I did blah, blah, blah this weekend. How are you doing, June? And then the woman would like talk back. She'd be like,
Oh my
and it was
god.
like, it was literally like that. And it was so weird. It was
That's
so weird.
terrifying.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, like, you can't, I'm gonna say it here, you can't recreate this. This is like,
No.
I mean,
It's too chaotic.
yeah, right. Like, this is perfection over here. No, I cannot believe that. Like, I am so speechless right now about that. Yeah, we talk about this in so many other ways. We've talked about it with other authors, and it's just something we can't escape, unfortunately. And it finds another new way to weasel its way into our lives that we did not ask for. So, yeah, we're big fuck AI in this world, or
Hard.
in the Lit and Loud
Yeah,
world over
no,
here.
no, thank you. I don't need that to write a book. And if I need that to write a book, I ask myself, why am I writing a book?
Right.
Like, there's somebody on
Mhm.
Threads that said they use it to write their spice scenes, and I was like, why are you writing romance with spice then? If you don't, that's the
Right.
best part.
You need
It's
to go
like so
I
outside.
love that.
That's like so fun. Wouldn't that be like objectively the funnest part of this?
It's so fun. If you didn't like it, why would you write it? Like, that's the fun part. What are you kidding me?
Right. That's crazy.
I'm just so thrown by that.
Same. Let's recenter with some good theater vibes. You
Theater
describe
vibes.
yourself as a weird theater kid. What kind of theater kid were you?
I was the jack of all trades, understudy for everything, because I have a photographic memory and can learn like every single part. I can sing almost every single part, not well. If you give me something, I can do it, even if it's just gender swapped and weird. In fact, I love to do like I would love to see a sapphic Oklahoma. Can I just say Oklahoma is, if you did not know this from the book
Please.
itself, I love Oklahoma. So Leah in
can
Oklahoma. But if Leah and Lourdes were in Oklahoma, I would go see that. I would get on a plane tomorrow and go. I would go. Like, because I think Leah needs to be curly. Like, if we're being honest here.
Mm.
I love Oklahoma. It's my favorite musical, but I can sing almost any part of an orchestral section. I am obsessed with music. I'm not a good actress at all, and I can't dance. Like, if you think Leah's a bad dancer, girl, I am a terrible dancer. I will fully admit I don't know how to dance, and I'm a disaster in show choir. Which is really why I was a concert choir girly, like 110%. But I love being part of any production and would just live to be part of a cast party, quite frankly. I was that kid. I live for a cast
Same.
party. I live for the drama. I live for the chaos and just running around backstage being absolutely insane and talking about things and singing songs completely unprompted and having our director yell at us to shut the fuck up. Bless him. I was the kid that was so worried about the fact that we were performing a Wicked medley. So we went and saw Wicked on Broadway when it was originally there. And this is like right around the Tonys. And we performed at Carnegie Hall. And so during that period of time, we did a performance of with John Rutter as our director, and it was amazing. Like I say, I peaked in high school, and this is why.
Where did you go to high school? Not trying to dox you or anything. Holy shit, that's awesome.
North Chicagoland. I went to high school in Northwest Indiana, and Indiana is like the choir state, so it is like cutthroat competitive. Like I have a novella that I have like worked on a little bit, and I have a full outline for. I'm a goblin. I'm a chaos goblin, but it's about a show choir director. It's a sapphic novella about a show choir director. And so that's like that competitive. It's like really Glee. It really feels like Glee. But my director is so crazy because we wanted to do this Wicked medley. And so he's like, I can reverse compose it and arrange it. And so because there wasn't a medley out because it was still on Broadway when we performed.
Right. It's fresh.
So he would have paid for it gladly. So instead, with his own money, he hired another composer, and the two of them reverse engineered an entire Wicked medley for us to perform at our spring concert, only months after we had just seen it on Broadway.
Oh, it probably hit so
That's
hard though,
amazing.
I will
because
never love
Wicked was
anything.
everything. Wicked was everything when it
I
came out.
It was, and it was everything to me. And I
Yeah.
read the book, and it was like everything. And so we performed it, but I was so worried that we were gonna have somebody show up and like arrest him because I'm a rule follower.
Jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this
But
is not, this does not work. Don't do that.
there was gonna be an IP lawyer there. But
Yeah.
I was the
happened to be
kid who,
there.
I just lived for medleys, and really badly wanted to perform so many different things that were not appropriate for high school. But I always joke that
Of course.
that's how I became activated, was this lawless medley of Wicked that we performed, and we knocked that shit out of the park.
Oh my
It was a
gosh.
banger. He did a fabulous job. And the fact that now as an adult, I'm like, that man was a teacher making almost nothing in the state of Indiana. And he spent his hard-earned money having a friend help him arrange this. He paid her money from his pocket so that we could perform Wicked.
That's amazing.
For the love of
And
the
that's
game.
like, exactly, that's for the love of Broadway. I have a follow-up because I am also a self-proclaimed theater kid. I grew up in show choir, musicals, everything. I am an alto 2 by heart, and so I'm an ensemble queen. What is your favorite show to date? You can do play, you can do stage play, musical, whatever.
Oh my God, that's such a hard question, because
You can give
I
me 2
have
if you want to.
I
I
have
have like
so many
5.
answers. I still feel like it's Oklahoma because I'm a first soprano, and if I could play that part, I would. Like, I live
Mhm.
to sing every song in that production, and did. And so I feel like, and no, I am not an ensemble queen. Like, I am deep down, but like my voice is not. And so my job is always blending and
Yeah.
failing. Don't make me blend. I'm blending. No, you're not.
Oh
You're
yeah, we know
not.
soprano 1. We
Yeah.
know. We know, girl.
Soprano 1, anchor, 5 foot tall, all the way in the back. Like, that was me. I'd always have my friends that were tall down before, and I'd be like glaring at them. I'm like, I want to be in the front row. Like, every archetype that you'll hear about a first soprano, I'll be like, that is not me. And then I'll be like, that resembles me.
That
I
was
am
me.
offended. And I get this a lot because when I tell these stories, because we'll talk about shows. Tyler Page, my friend, she is very involved in local theater. And so if I was less busy, I would go and audition for one of the productions if she's directing, just to
Mhm.
screw with her, I guess. But she she and I talk about this, and she's like, I feel like you were raised in another dimension. Like, the things you tell me about the stuff you did in high school is just weird.
Same. I recount like trips we went on and like things we did. It was like I think my husband actually said it was like your life was like Glee, and I was like, it kind of was. We
Yes.
watched that shit. Like that was when I was in high school. Like Glee was the shit. We had the spin-off show. I was like, that kind of was what our life was like.
It is. It's like, when I find out that a friend who loves campy stuff though and does not like musical theater, I'm like offended. Like, one of my other friends, Mika Usher, hates, like, I'm just gonna out her here. She hates musical theater.
Say her
And I
name.
don't understand. I'm like, Mika, like, I just saw her like 2 days ago and I gave her shit, but like, she gives it back. Don't worry. I'm the one who doesn't understand sarcasm 9 times out of 10, but she does. But she's like, I don't like musical theater. I'm like, because we're all sharing like what our favorite shows are. Like, we had like a karaoke part of this author retreat we did. We did karaoke, and I was out there all the time. Like, I don't even care. Like, my voice was totally shot. I am the worst at vocal rest. I felt like the Little Mermaid a couple weeks ago because I got so sick, and then I lost my voice, and I felt terrible. So I was like, I need some steroids. Like, I need some soprano speed because I am suffering here. And then I was like, I'm gonna be like Ivy on Smash and go completely off the rails because I took like 1 steroid. Like, that's exactly what I thought was gonna happen.
How do you hate
By the way,
all musical theater?
I don't know. She's
That's
like,
I don't know, honey.
crazy.
It's that they stand up and start singing. And I'm like, that's the point. It's a musical. And she's like, there's too much singing. I'm like, how
Lean
is there?
in.
That's
Right. Get weird
insane.
with it.
We were watching Suffs yesterday, and it's on Great Performances right now. And my husband's like, why are they singing? There are no bangers yet. I'm like, you don't even know what a banger is if it hits you. Like you
Yeah.
you
You
are
don't
a
know
metalhead.
anything.
You're a
You don't know a
metalhead.
banger if it hit you.
He's like,
Oh,
well, it could be a Nin song.
Is he into Epic?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, free yourself. Don't find out. It's like it's it's not on stage yet, but they have released multiple albums of this. They want it to be a musical, and it's called Epic. The kids are obsessed with it.
it's like
Mine
Greek
specifically,
mythology.
not all the kids. I have not a lot
Oh
of
my
information
God.
about it, but I think the people that do the singing have, kids, if you're listening, skip ahead, horrible voices, and I can't stand any of the music. So it comes on in the car, and when we're in the car, it is show tunes the whole time. We are just listening, and they know every word to every song, and I'm not that person. But Epic comes on, and I'm like, I have to use my skip because this song's 9 minutes long, and I really want to stay alive.
Two things completely unrelated to my book. Let me just say. One, I'm not judging you because when we lived in Missouri, that's where I met my husband. We lived in Missouri while I was finishing my doctorate. And we lived across the street from a TV station that would invite choirs from throughout the state of Missouri to perform Christmas carols. Now, as a concert choir singer and a first soprano, I was deeply offended by the fact that most of these schools could not manage a four-part harmony with a mixed choir. What are you doing? I did that in 5th grade. So I would have to quietly never complain about these choirs, but my whole demeanor when they would be on at the end of a segment or the start of a segment would just be like perfect pitch. I want to die right now. Like this is torture for my soul. Like why is everyone so flat? Why why are the sopranos so bad and why do the altos look like they're going to die? Now I know that singing a repetitive note is not a lot of fun, but the ones who can, you know this. Alto
I do.
too. You've got this. Like
Yes. Yeah,
you
it's
you
easy.
sing that note. You sing it. But everybody looks sad. And I'm like, they know that they look sad. It's terrible. And so I made the mistake of telling Tyler this. She's like, sometimes those are head thoughts. Like sometimes those are head thoughts, basically. And I was like, I'm just telling you because I'm being honest. And she's like, sometimes
Yep.
you're a little too honest about these things. I feel like you grew
Those
up
are
in
head
another
thoughts.
universe. But this was like at 1 a.m. and I was driving us home from a romance con. Second thing, now my kid, yeah, Epic. Oh, that sounds terrible. I don't even know. Like I've never heard of this, but I do love a rock opera, but like that
Mhm.
sounds horrendous.
Yeah, it's
And
like
my
Greek
9-year-old,
mythology based, and
but
it's a
see,
lot.
it might be my kid loves cats, hate cats, not my thing. I wish my life was a Jellicle Ball, like fair. That could be fun. But sitting through a bunch of songs, Cat's Memories has tortured me. I had to sing it once and
Yeah.
I'm scarred
Mhm.
since then. I did not dress up like a cat, thank God for everyone. But my kid loves Greek mythology, so I'm never going to expose us to that because I'm afraid that I will have
No.
to listen to it again and again and again.
No. And I
And
think that there's like 3 versions of it, or 3 like different sections of it that have been released, and they're all very long. If I'm there's someone that's listening to this that's like, this woman has no idea what she's talking about. And that's okay because I don't want to. Do not correct me. I know too much as is.
oh my God, now I have to look this up, but not when my
You
child's
do.
around.
No. Look it up in private. I do believe they are working towards a stage adaptation because the kids are very excited about it. And I'm like,
Oh,
your
okay.
dad can take you. Have fun.
I hope that's fun for you. I don't want to go. I think their dad said that he would not take them to see Cats. But I think they were seriously the only person that would actually go see Cats,
And
like
like it.
as their first choice, and they loved the very unfortunate movie, the film production. It was
Yeah.
dreadful, and that right there was their favorite thing during COVID. It was either that or Frozen. So pick your poison. We're either
Yeah.
watching Cats or we're watching every Frozen that there was,
I
which
fucks
was
with
only
Frozen.
two.
Yeah.
Fucks with Frozen.
I
Sorry, not
chose
Cats.
I chose
So
Frozen. I could at
funny.
least sing to Frozen and not be
Yeah.
tortured. But
Right.
Cats was a slog that I don't need. I have very strong feelings about certain musicals that nobody will relate to,
Me
and
too.
that's one of them.
Yeah.
But you can't.
Johnna has a strong
Yeah.
one.
Do you love Cats?
No.
No.
Hamilton was the worst thing to ever happen to me. I sat down in a theater surrounded by everyone that knew every word, and I was like, this cannot be what people have been gagged about for this. A rap rock musical with no breaks and no speaking. My brain could not compute. Like, I did this thing, which I don't think I've ever done. I always clock other people for doing it. When you like open the program and you try to figure out where you are to see how close you are to being free. I was like 4 songs in. I was like, I can't do this. They're not
The
speaking.
whole
I'm
time.
not 100% sure what they're saying. I cannot follow this story.
You don't have subtitles.
No subtitles.
No subtitles.
I could not. I texted Aaliyah intermission. I was like, I have to confess something. This is awful.
And I graduated in 2016 as a senior in high school when Hamilton came out, and that was the fucking shit. Like Hamilton was our pinnacle, dude. So I heard that, I was like, I cannot. We the two of us are so in sync about pretty much everything in our lives, down to the drama, fashion, news. She said that, and I was like, I don't agree with that, and I'm not even.
Maybe we are
I'm not
friends.
even responding.
I don't know.
I don't know how to feel about that one.
I understand that's such a not pop, but like we usually for Christmas will get the kids tickets to go see. We have like touring shows come near us, so we usually go do that, and we've seen Six and Beetlejuice and
we
like
saw
a few
6.
other things that I had a lot of fun at. And then I was like, oh my God, Hamilton. And you can't exist without knowing some of the music. So I finally, I get in there and I'm like, yeah, I know a couple of the songs. And it starts and I'm like, no way.
And it's fast too. So if you're not in it, you're like,
and
what?
I don't know anything about the actual story and a history.
Oh, real history?
No. And the kids are history buffs too. So that is their bread and butter. That's why they love Six. And this whole, I was so out of my depth. I was like, intermission. I was like, I need to get a Milky Way and I need to sit down and I need to eat this Milky Way and get me through the rest of this.
One of my professors at Mizzou, back when I was about to defend my comps, which is what you need to take to get to the point where you write your dissertation, he was a friend of Lin-Manuel Miranda. And so he was in on the workshop. And so I became by proxy when I was working with him, he was my supervisor for a while, obsessed with Alexander Hamilton, despite the fact I don't study American politics, right? That's not my thing. I study comparative politics primarily in the UK and Canada. And so this was really weird. And he got me obsessed with it to the point where I put in my addled state of trying to finish these things off the top of my head over a period of 8 hours. I had to write all these answers. And one of them I said, federalism. Alexander Hamilton was our president. And my advisor, so I can blame the workshop for this, but my advisor was my actual name. Can you tell us when Alexander Hamilton was the president of the United States? And I was like,
oh my God, no.
I was like, did I write that? And he's like, yes.
You were like,
Oh my
I'm in
God.
psychosis.
Fail.
Please leave me alone.
I just must have looked like I was gonna die. And then he like joked about it. He's a super nice guy, but I was so embarrassed. And ever since then, I'm like, I blame Hamilton for this. It was just in a workshop. It wasn't even on Broadway yet. It would be before I defended my dissertation, and that would have been 2016. So height, really.
Yes, a height of it.
Yeah, it's been 10 years. I'm old, and it's fine. It's totally
It's
fine.
The years start coming, and they don't stop coming.
I'm going. I'm still going. I'm still here.
Yeah.
We're here. All right. So, a question about your characters. No, I loved that. That needed to happen. I felt that in my bones. Okay,
for real.
Do your characters behave, or are they constantly making things harder for themselves?
I feel like they have their own minds, and sometimes I want to strangle them because I'm like, I can't avoid writing it this way, or this needs another chapter. And sometimes I think everyone on my editing team would like to tell me to stop before I'm ahead. But I had like another spice scene that was written, for example, between Leah and Lourdes, where the two of them, I'm not even going to get into it because it's complicated, but my editor is like, take this out. I don't know why you put this in here. This is just, it's slowing the pacing. And I was like, but it's a spice scene. She's like, and it's great, but we don't need a spice scene here with barely any dialogue. And then there's another spice scene. We get it. They're horny. Please don't just. So she's like, use it for bonus content.
Cut. Yeah, please send it to us.
This is the Snyder cut of my book. It's the Maude cut. And so I will probably release it as BOCO at some point to my newsletter subscribers. So subscribe to my newsletter. But I was told to cut it out. I was like, but they need to do this. This is something they need to do. And she's like, this reads like, AO3, like you don't need to have this in here. It's too much. And so I cut it.
That's such a raw statement.
She's like, it feels like fanfic. And I say that as somebody who would read fanfic, but this does not need to be in a novel. Like this is not part of the flow. So I took it out, but I kept it for bonus content. So at some point I will deploy it. I hate writing my newsletter.
It's still in your heart.
Yeah. It's, if you got to write a newsletter and you got to write a newsletter, then you might as well put some smut in the newsletter.
Hey,
for the fans.
Click rate skyrockets.
Here's hoping. I mean, there's some crazy shit, so it's all good. It's all good.
We know where the book came from, the idea, the bedtime story, the little seed. Is there a scene that immediately clicked for you when you were writing this book that kind of made it all come together?
Yes. The dance scene start with them, because I picture Lourdes as like this. Lou is the prima ballerina that has to sing and has to perform in musical theater, right? Her dreams have ended there, and she's a singer as well. So it worked out for her. She has to act, she has to do all these things. But first and foremost, she is a dancer, and in her mind she is. And so Leah is just not cutting it. And Leah knows that. She's self-aware enough to know that she's not the best. But I think what bothers Lou the most is that she doesn't stand up for herself in large part. So this dance sequence that I added to this bedtime story is where I think the chemistry starts between the two of them, because Lou can't deny that she's definitely attracted to Leah, and Leah is desperate for Lou to like her. I think that's one essential scene that has to be there for it to be believable between the two of them. And the other one is the backstage scene where they're in tech and they're trying on costumes. That the kiss, that is another one that has.
Yes.
I don't know. You don't sell anything with musical theater without people in costumes, right, backstage fooling around. I mean, we all wish it had happened for us. It probably didn't, but we wish it did.
No, that was a good one. Ooh, I'm glad you said that, because I was like, oh, I remember reading that and getting. I was like, okay. I think I was in Florida by the beach when I was reading that part. What was the transition from having a PhD in poli-sci to writing spicy books look like for you?
I mean, I don't know. It just happens.
I
Like
love it.
I spent the time in my program completely devoid of joy, I guess, when it came to reading. Like, I say this because I tried to read Tolstoy for like 5 straight years, and I refused to DNF a book. And my husband was finally like, "I'm gonna throw the book out the window if you bring that on another plane trip." And so that was like
He's a real
before
one.
the pandemic. He's a real one. He has no filter. He cannot whisper at all. And he's the straightest person you will meet in your entire lifetime, but he is so sweet. Um and he was just like, "Stop with this book. Read what you want to read. Like, it's okay to read pulp. Like, it's okay to read something pulpy that you enjoy. You're not reading shit right now because you're miserable and you're trying to read Tolstoy and no one cares." Because the guys in my program would make fun of me for reading something that was pulpy. Because there were like 2 girls that were obsessed with Twilight, which I still don't get. I'm not a Twilight person, but all of my friends are. So, like, by osmosis, I can understand the memes, right? But they were
Mhm.
obsessed with Twilight and would have these like reading parties that were basically a book club, but they would actually read the books. And so I thought that was great. I'm like, "Oh, that seemed not my ish," but also like good for them. But they would just make fun of them mercilessly for reading these books. And so I'm like, I just 50 Shades, they read 50 Shades too, which I guess is fanfic. So of the books. So it
Yes,
makes
I've
sense
heard
now.
that.
But read what you love, right? So that was where I decided I was gonna start reading again finally during the pandemic. And then I just started with historical fiction, historical romance, which was my like OG, like Mrs. Hunter. She got me into historical smut, and she
Mm.
read this book. My English teacher read this book.
Love.
And she also has wished me the best of luck with all of my endeavors. And I love her so much, but I'm also mortified. But
Right.
she got me started in
This is
historical
your fault.
romances. It's really Mrs. Hunter's fault. Um, but she's a real one too. And so I went back to reading historical romance, which I still love. I still love historical
Mhm.
romance. And then I moved over to contemporary romance and got back into I love memoirs as well. Like, I read pretty
Mm.
widely. Don't read sci-fi, don't read fantasy really. Those are my husband's realms. Not big into horror at all. But my parents love horror, and so that's everybody in my house, like in my life, pretty much reads. We're all readers. But I finally discovered it again, and it was so good. I
Yes.
just fell in love with romance again. And I mean,
Mhm.
I was the one who would steal them out of the tote. My mom's not a romance reader, which whatever. Read what you want, but I'm still judging. She's not a huge romance reader, but a voracious reader. And but her sisters read them. And so like there was a period of time where I had like a Harlequin that my cousin and I had bought at a store
Mm.
at like the Salvation Army or St. Vincent de Paul or something. And we brought it home and we're like reading it in her room. We were like 12, 11 and 12. And we were like, "Ooh, it's so spicy." Like we were like, "Ooh, sex."
Yeah.
Um and her mom came down and her mom reads romance books. So this was not like a huge surprise. Like she would not have cared probably. But we like threw it behind her bookcase.
Like you had a Playboy, you were like, "Bye."
But then we were like 20 pages from the end and we wanted to see how it ended. And so like it had just gotten really good. Like they were just doing it. Like they were doing it. And so we've got the book stuck behind and we're like we shouldn't get it out. That was a sign. That was a sign. No, we like picked up a stick and like put a bunch of tape around it
Oh
and we
my
pulled
gosh.
the thing out from behind the bookcase and then finished reading it. And that was when it
Obviously.
started. That's
Yeah.
how it began.
That's my origin
That
story.
yes.
We have this theory that the only reason you're ever in a reading rut is because you're not reading a book you like. And I feel like
Yes.
that becomes more and more true. And one of my reading goals for this year was to DNF more books because I'd get into like a slump and then I'd read a book I love and then like crushed through a few books, and I'm like, I wasn't in a slump. I just hated those 2 books and read all of both of them. For what? No one cares.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
one's giving you a
I
prize.
No.
yeah. Yeah, do you get an award for being a goody two shoes and reading them? No, you don't. Like you just get miserable. It's like a punctuated equilibrium with me. Either find like 50 books I love in a row, or I'm like, I
Mhm.
hate this book. Why am I? And it's usually because I agreed to a buddy read, let's be honest. And it's
Ooh,
not a
yeah.
book I would pick up. And like most things, I'm a princess. So like I want things to be a certain way, like when I want them, but only when I want them. So I'm a mood reader. And so, like, if somebody
Mhm.
picks a thriller and I'm not in the mood for a thriller, especially if it's a thriller written by like one of several authors that I cannot stand, I will read it. But I'm going to complain about it the entire time. And then it's going to suck the
Good for
life force
you.
out of me. And then I'm
Yeah.
going to need a palate cleanser, but I won't want to read because I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. I'm just not in the right headspace to read. And then I'll find an audiobook of something really salacious and unhinged. And then I'll just go there.
Mhm.
Like I love audio. So that's usually my
We
like
love
Same.
audio
palate cleanser.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the same way. We'll read a few romance books and then be like, we really need a thriller, and then read a thriller and then be ready to go back to reading straight smut, because
Yeah.
that's
where we
what we're
live.
into.
Yeah. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything, right? But if I'm going on a trip, that's what I'm bringing. I'm gonna bring straight up just like wide open door, crazy shit. Or if
Yeah.
I'm doing a project around the home, I'm gonna like I was in here painting this room and my husband was assembling furniture because we're switching my office and my kids' room. And I was listening to the Filthy Rich Americans. And I
Mm.
don't know if you've read that. If you like billionaire romance, but make it like almost like a
My mom loves
cabal,
that.
let me tell you,
My mom
this
loves
book
this.
is
Whitney?
unhinged. And
I think my mom has read this. Yes.
I believe she has.
it's unhinged, and I devoured it. And I'm listening to it on like 2.5 because that's how I listen to audiobooks because my neurospicy brain processes them better. And
Mhm.
he's listening to it and going, "What the fuck are you listening to? Like, what is this?
Mind your
What is
business.
his dad? Him? What is happening?" And I was like,
This is so relatable.
"Daddy issues."
You're in a safe space, just so you know.
Yeah.
I've listened to your podcast. I felt pretty safe. Like the best part was I sent my editor a message and I was like, "Becky, you have to read this book." She's like, "Oh, I've already read it." Of course she's already read it. So she's like, it's pretty fucked up. And I was like, "It's super fucked up," and I loved it.
Right.
I need to write a father's best friend trope now.
For us.
And then I did, and it's that book there.
Hey.
That's
Inspo.
amazing.
Oh.
Yeah, I never want to discuss what I am reading because we are, if you've listened to the podcast, you know we're obsessed with Losers, and we just keep buying different versions of it and the whole thing. And I don't recommend this book to people because I'm like, I'm gonna keep this to myself.
Head thoughts.
This is, yeah, bearing all to people in sharing a
Right.
book like that. Like, ooh,
Right. This
You'll
is
get
my
to know
favorite.
side
It's
of
an
me.
MMFMM romance.
Please enjoy.
They're all fucking. Thank you.
That's the thing. Like my friend Albie, who wrote Bro Amazing, like her whole like bizarre sports, like offbeat sort of sports, but like a million dongs. Like I can't talk about that at work. I work in finance. I can't like I love when they have these like group meetings. They're like, we're gonna discuss books. They like they
I'm
send
not.
out this invitation for
No.
this week or this monthly meetup. And so if you join, it's just like a month of people, you know, chatting and like drinking coffee and stuff because we're all remote. But one time they were like, bring what you're reading. And I'm
You don't
like,
wanna know that.
you don't want to know what I'm reading
I'll
because it has
lie.
5 penises in it. And I don't want to share that. Like,
Yes.
or this last time, I'm like, there's a strap on. Do you want me to get into that? Because I want to
Right.
get into that, but I don't think you want me
Yeah.
to get into
Do
that.
you want to learn a lot about me? Yeah, I went to a networking event once and I texted Johnna right after I did this stupidly, just getting myself introduced to the field that I'm in and like connecting with people, which is a huge part of it. And this girl came up to me, we were talking, we had very similar vibes. We were going back and forth and we got on the topic of reading and books. And I was like, oh, I'm a big reader, yada, yada, yada. And she's like, oh, what books are you reading? I was like, I thought this was safe space. No, it was not. I laid some shit down and she was
No!
not ready to pick it up. And I was like, I cannot believe I just did that.
Oh,
And that
no.
Johnna was like, that's a lesson. You gotta be careful.
But I feel like when you run into, especially a group of people, like somewhere in between all our ages, they're like, oh my God, I love reading. I'm reading ACOTAR. And I have nothing to give that that is just run me
Same.
into a brick wall. I have
I
nothing to talk about. I'm so sorry. That's not my scene. I'm not getting into it.
yes,
And that
yeah.
feels like the most common thing. And I'm excited people are reading and finding a place in these stories, but I don't want to go there.
I made the mistake of listening to a good friend who was like, "This is gonna be your Roman Empire. This book is amazing. It's super spicy." Which don't tell me that if it's not. And so
Not at this point.
but she no, I mean 7 scenes, man, and I had more. Okay, I had more left in the tank. I was told no. Um,
They shut me
denied by my
down.
editing team. Um, there's a strap in the next book, so there's more. There's more in the tank.
Coming to
There's
you
more in the tank.
hot off the presses, baby.
Yes. So but that said, she tells me this, and I'm like, oh, cool. I guess I'm not really into fantasy, but I guess I got to read this book. This is several years ago. And she's like, she says she reads, smut. And I'm like, oh, this would be perfect. I get halfway through this book, which is like 700 pages. And I'm like, girl, when is the
Where?
sex happening? Because I can't make it much longer. She's like, well, it's really not until the second book. And I'm like, this is why I don't fuck with this
No.
shit, because I can't see the fucking. I can't. If there's no fucking, I won't fuck with it. Like if it's a romance, like if it's not a romance, okay, I don't expect there to be fucking. But if it's a romance, there better be some fucking. Like just give me what I
Yes.
want.
Right. Deliver
No,
on what
I
you
put it down.
promised.
I put
Yeah.
it down. I was like, I can't
Good
make
for
it until
you.
the second book for these
DNF
characters
era.
whose names I can't pronounce to have sex. Like, I'm glad
Say
that
it.
those books exist. I could not write the world building that is in a lot of these books. Like,
Correct.
my husband writes
Yeah.
fantasy. I don't understand what's going on at all most of the time. I'm just like, I don't have the attention span for that. But good on you. I do have tons of spreadsheets with character names because I have so many royal houses and everything is connected. And in my brain, that makes sense. And I'm sure that it makes sense to them. But if there's not sex in there to keep me interested, attention span of a gnat. I'm all over the place.
That's how I feel. And I feel the same way about like a good thriller. I'm like, I need I need action. I need sex. I need a mystery. I need
Someone to
something
die.
to really, yes, murder. I need someone to hold, I need something to hold me here. It's so relatable. I have a client right now that's a librarian, and I do not, he'll like talk about books in a library, and I am just like, I am not bringing up that I read. I am not bringing up the podcast. We don't need to even touch this subject. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't bring my pen name up generally, and that includes like with parents. But one time I have friends that are like on our PTO that their kids go to school with my kid. They're super cool people. They read, they don't read what I read. And I had NSFW art that was supposed to be delivered to my house, and it was just not delivered to my house. There was a picture, but we didn't know where it was. And so made the mistake of posting on Facebook before thinking about what happened. I was like, "Hey, if anybody because we live in a pretty small area, like we're in a large city, but like a small
Mhm.
area, and well, small city, but there's this like picture. UPS says they delivered it, but it's not to my house, and I don't know where this is." And I was panicking because I needed this for the show the next day that I was doing, and she started texting everyone she knew trying to find my art. And then I realized, like, if they know what the art is that's in there, I am fucked.
Oh my god. Not you being the goss of the PTO.
Because titties. Yeah, that's exactly what have happened, and I would have to have a conversation about, "Yes, that is a depiction of oral sex. Can we never talk about this again?" Like,
It's so much.
and it was a big portrait, like, a big for, like, a banner
So
display.
of
incredible.
Oh my gosh.
boobs, just nipples. I was just like, "I'm so scared." Like, with my friends, this is normal, like, dicks are normal. We got all sorts. I told my friend I was gonna buy. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get my trimming scene done. This is a birthday present to myself. Like blah blah blah. And my friend, this is Danny Galliaro. She's like, girl, do it. This is so cute that you think this is so. This is I. I'm just like, because she had just gotten like a pegging scene done. So like, I was like, I need to know if this artist can handle this. And she's like, oh girl, she's married to a woman. She can handle it. Which I
Yeah.
loved. I loved. But I'm like, now that seems so tame compared to this. And these books, this book that you read was actually delivered to one of my neighbors. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, please don't open that box.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't.
The lives we
Don't.
live. Like, yeah, that is such an interesting line. I cannot imagine, like, yeah, having a pen name and like being anonymous in some capacity, but also like the reading is huge right now, and like you
It
go down
is.
these. I mean, that's what happened with us. I got back into reading as like a passion, and I went down this. I read that series, and I was like, there has to be things better than this. But like, you know, as you get into it, like you kind of fall down into these like fandoms and groups, and it's like all of a sudden they stumble upon, you know, my kids, you know, teammate's mom, and it's like, oh my
Right?
god, like this is, yeah, it seems like such a small world, but also like, you know, you can kind of play it anonymous, but you know, your stuff
Yeah.
might get delivered to your neighbor.
Yeah, and I'm like, I love when somebody's like, "I loved Avatar." I'm like, "That's fabulous. I love that you loved that."
Yeah.
Or they say they love Frida McFadden or whatever. I'm like, I love that you love those books, but I am not gonna tell you what the fuck I just read. Like, that's the
Right.
line, right?
You're gonna look at
Mhm.
me different.
I don't
Yeah.
wanna I don't wanna talk about my books, like, my boss knows my pen name, and that's pretty terrifying, but he's totally chill. He's very supportive. I trust him
Mhm.
with my life. But he thinks it's great what I do, which I think is hysterical, but I don't talk about my books with him. Like, he knows what
Yeah.
I do, but we don't
Right.
have a conversation about it. We don't need to have a conversation about it. I don't wanna
No.
talk about it.
How do you go about sourcing the drawings? We love an art
Love it.
accompaniment. We love it so much. I think it adds so much to the story to get that visual. And I always have a terrible time visualizing characters. I'm terrible at it. And I always want to know exactly what the author thought this character was supposed to look like, because that becomes my truth.
So it's like you find artists and hopefully sometimes they are not terrible and don't take your money and screw you. But for the most part, you find artists through other authors. And I found Chloe who did I wish I could show you because it's beautiful. What she did was absolutely beautiful. The trimming scene that I'm talking about is absolutely amazing. And I got her through Danny Galliaro. She had worked with Chloe before and recommended her. I'm trying to think how I found other artists. Fiverr. I just released character art for my Eurovision inspired romance today. And that was done by some guy named Jason on Fiverr who did a beautiful job with these two girls that I am obsessed with. For Leah and Lourdes, I had three different artists all told, and they all came from different places for the characters. But it's really cool how they all like one of them. I did a print that's like very Chicago esque.
Mhm.
So they're very much Roxy and Velma. And I had to have this. Like for some reason, I was like, I need this in my life. It has to happen. Um, but you find good artists. You're an artist, so you work with artists. And then what happens is I send really hideous pictures of things. There's two ways to source these. One, you can like do physical drawings that are really ugly, like with stick figures or with like those dolls that you can move. That's what Danny does. She
Mhm.
takes pictures of these dolls. Like, I don't have dolls. Okay. I have my really bad drawings that I send off and they somehow make them perfect and beautiful and understand what's going on. Whereas other people source adult content and send that. And for the scene with the strap, I'm having that done in art. That may be something I have to do because I legitimately don't think I can draw it without it seeming completely off. And I think it's well beyond my
Right.
capacity at this point.
Yeah, I'd be the same. I'm like, someone else has to do this more efficiently because
Yeah.
I'm not going to relate
I
this.
I feel like if I send this to somebody and the guy that's doing it, he does a great job and he does a lot of NSFW art and it looks like charcoal drawings. Another person that Danny recommended, I asked her, I was like, can he handle this? Like, and she's like, you're so cute. You're so cute. I've asked him to do all sorts of things. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, good.
Okay,
But
good.
because you got to vibe check your artists too, because some don't do NSFW, which is fine.
Right.
Like,
Right.
that's fine. Like, I have one artist who does a great job with character art, but she does not do NSFW art, and that's fine. Mad respect. I get it, but my God, sometimes I'm having these conversations, and like one time it was like, are her nipples big enough? And I'm like, her nipples are fine. Like her nipples are great.
10 out of 10.
But like this is the text message conversation that I'm having with an artist while I'm like
Mhm.
at the grocery store in line. That's not a normal person's life, but for me that seems quite normal. And my kid has seen that art and was actually showing it off to my mother via FaceTime once, which was mortifying,
Right.
Oh,
absolutely
wow.
mortifying.
Yeah, I feel like the two of us have really normalized like listening to smut on audio well at the store. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
is
Yes.
so funny because sometimes you like blush and you look around and you're like, I am just straight up in public listening to porn right now. Good for
Yeah.
me. And no one knows.
No.
Or you have I make the mistake of like I don't do this anymore because this happened too often, but like the Bluetooth connects to the car while my
Yep.
husband and my kid are in the car and I'm in the house working and doing data entry or something and listening to pure smut and then the car connects and then he
Yep.
has to like panic turn the volume off because it I'm like oh
Yep.
Yep.
no way
So
anymore.
funny. Okay. Back to the task at hand.
Sorry.
This conversation is so fun. No, we are having the best time.
Yes.
I'm like, oh yeah, we did write questions, but we're just going. I was so curious about the art because I see art and I'm like, who is drawing this? Where did this
So
come
many
from?
artists. So many
Yeah.
artists. They were probably doing art for fantasy and like D&D character art well before they were doing this, which is how
Mm.
my husband thinks this is totally normal. He's like, "Oh yeah, character art's a real thing. Like you can go to a con and get all this character art." And then it started becoming more popular in contemporary. And I will say that if you're an author, it is a good investment if you have the money because social media rewards character art in
Yeah.
carousels and also
Hmm.
on reels when you use a slide image for a reel. Yeah, it's real. That's why I pretty much have to get it for every single book now, which so it sucks. It sucks to have to get
Rats.
I have
character
to
art
look at my
done.
super hot characters. Awful.
It's terrible.
You talk about queer joy being more important now than ever. What does that look like to you, and how do you portray that through your writing?
So I am a queer person and I live in a house with a trans person. And I really am big on, I've always been, before I was even out, huge in terms of activism and allowing people to feel joy and just be their authentic selves. And that saves lives, right? That saves lives. I know that in my house, people are always welcome to just be themselves. I wish that the world was more like this. But in my little world that I've built with my characters, I think there are tons of people of all different backgrounds and different callings. And I want their lived experiences to be diverse. I want them to be themselves. They're in my brain, but like in my brain, there are trans characters, there are non-binary characters, there are queer characters, and I can't imagine a world without them, right? So, um, my kiddo identifies as non-binary, and I had a non-binary character that was in my book Power Move, which has a pansexual heroine. And so her pansexuality is a big part of the the character development with her and with Davy, her love interest, because she's never had a serious relationship with a man. And one of the side characters, Jax, is a really close friend of hers, who is her best friend's younger sibling. And he's like Davy meets Jax and they talk and Jax is like, I don't know that you're her type. Like I've never seen her date a guy. And there's like a whole conversation, but Jax's like very dry humor appeals to Davy and he becomes very good friends with Jax and like partners in crime. And that offended people for some reason because Jax is on the first page of a book because they're an essential part of the story. And it never even flagged to me that that would be a thing. Like that a queer character would offend people. But now I'm like, if it does offend you, like the dedication
Right.
for that is like human rights are not like ketchup on a hot dog. We can't dispute this. And
Mhm.
I'm from the Chicago area, so putting ketchup on a hot dog is a crime, but I still do it. So I'm terrible. But it's that sort of thing that I want to see queer characters, whether they end up in straight up pairing relationships or queer relationships, just love. And that's why I loved writing Leah's story because Leah has 2 dads and her dads are pretty awesome. Um, and they're George is probably like one of my messiest characters, believe it or not. Her dad is like one of my messiest characters. People either love or hate him. He is a flawed character. He has impulse control problems and he is very angry at times and just everything is about George. The world revolves around George. And Leah's very much her father's daughter, but I love that I was able to give her that experience because Leah's very different than Lourdes. Like Lourdes really struggles with being out. I
Mhm.
definitely related to that. I came out while I was writing Power Move and this book, and so I have not been out for now going on just about a year. A year. Um, but writing this book was a large part of my journey. Not that I've not always like supported queer joy and been there for it and read like tons of sapphic books, like hella queer books. Um, and really love sapphic books probably most of all. But just that level of everybody just can be themselves and love who they love. And right now, especially as a parent of a kiddo who's like at risk all times because of their identity, because of how they are as a human being, it feels really important to be visible. And as a person in a straight appearing relationship, um, sometimes that privilege is the level of protection that one needs to be really loud, which is probably
Mm.
why my entire wardrobe looks like a pride parade. So when I actually came out to my husband, the first person I came out to, he was like, "Yeah, I'm glad we can finally talk about this. Like, I'm glad you're living your truth."
Ah,
And when I
a
came
real
out to
one.
my friends, it was much like, huh, yeah,
Mhm.
good. I'm glad
And
we could talk about this." But that's my idea about writing these stories is that I just want the characters I don't want to torture them. I'm not going to write a coming out arc where everyone is tortured. Like that's not my jam. I did have flack
Mhm.
from a reader about how these characters, several readers, were not tortured enough and that it seemed unrealistic that Leah's parents could just be out and as loving as they are as a gay couple and that she did not receive enough hate from her family.
Mm.
And that's not the story I was ever going to write. Like, I won't write
Mhm.
George and Patrick's coming out story. I've said it's not my story to tell as a cis woman, yes, I'm a queer woman, but I haven't lived that life and I'm not going to torture those characters because there's a lot of pain in that story and I'm not the right person to write it. Um, I've had people tell me that I should. I'm not going to. I've said every single time I'm not going to write their coming out story. I just there are plenty of books that deal with the grief and
Right.
pain that queer folks experience, and we've all been there and experienced that level of either erasure or pain from not being able to be who we are. I'm not going to project that on characters because my books are they're not totally escapist, but they are an escape for many readers. And we have enough hate in the world. I just don't need to add
Right.
more to it to torture my characters more. It's just not the story I'm telling.
Yeah. I feel like that's incredibly important right now too, just having the joy come to the forefront when writing stories like that. It for readers like us, when we live it. My husband is non-binary trans and we live it every single day. I'm also pansexual and this is our life and we read for escapism and that's okay. And when I started getting
Mhm.
back into reading, I was like I need to better myself always when I'm reading. And I do love reading things that make me a better human, but also I like to read things like demon monster smut and and cozy romance stories and the things that
Yes.
relate to my life, and all those things can exist in the same timeline. And I am grateful for authors like you who believe, hey, like, we don't always have to, have these stories seeped in tragedy. It can just be complex people with complex feelings, but also their identities are there, and that's what's important. It doesn't have to be tragic. And so
Mhm.
No,
yeah, that's a huge thing right now, and I'm glad that this is on the forefront for a lot of authors too. I feel like this is something that's coming up a lot.
Yeah.
I think it is because the political climate we're living in is pretty damaging. Like, it's just
Yeah.
the news cycle is traumatic enough in and of itself. My therapist reminds me of this regularly, but it's a lot. It's a heavy burden to carry any day,
Mhm.
but it's especially heavy to carry both as a person and a parent. And so any bit of good I
Mhm.
can put out in the world, like, so I hosted a Sapphic reader event at my favorite bookstore this weekend, and I had Sapphic families coming in. I had women love women couples coming into the store with their families and telling me that they never get to do this, that they have to drive to Chicago or, wherever to do this, and we live in Western Michigan. And so I was just like, this is why I did this, right? There weren't any events, like not
Mhm.
everybody can get to CastCon, and it's still spendy. I applied for next year. I don't think they'll take me, but who knows? You gotta shoot your shot. Um, but I applied for CastCon, but I figured, why can't we make an event here? So
Yeah.
I proposed to do Sapphic Saturday rather than just a book launch. And I invited a bunch of authors, and it spiraled into a bunch of authors coming from throughout the Midwest. And I have no idea how I managed it, other than Heather and James, who own the bookstore, are amazing. Our community partners came out. It was a really good time, and I'm hoping to do it again next year. But it was like, how can I give back using what I've built, hoping that this is going to go well, taking this step, but also like, this is about community at the end of the day. So we all showed up. My
Yeah.
kid pitched in, my husband pitched in. It was crazy. We had a lot of readers come through, and it was all worth it in the end. And it was just joy. It was so nice to get us all together and have that joy.
And I really commend you for what you said about just being really loud when, I mean, I'm in a similar situation. I am in like a hetero looking relationship, but as a queer person, it's very important for me to be loud. Both of my boyfriend's children are queer, and it's just so important for them to see a happy adult queer person that can be in a relationship that doesn't reflect everything that they are, but they're very happy and this is the life they settled into. And this doesn't make other pieces of them not legitimate or non existent,
Mhm.
because you don't have to compromise yourself to be in love, and you can be happy and in love. And I think that's
Yes.
just an incredible story to tell and to normalize all the time. It would be completely fine for me to go about life and be like, oh, I'm just a straight person. But being loudly queer feels so much more authentic.
And fun.
I relate to that hardcore. Like, that's like high key, so, so important. Like, I feel much more myself than I ever did. Um, it feels like I can finally just be myself. I think there was a lot of reasons. I'm married to a man, so that's a large part of it, not needing to. Um, and just not feeling queer enough to be, like,
Mm.
out, and it wasn't my family. I mean, it's not my parents. My parents are super duper supportive and have lots of queer friends, and so I was actually, I mean, between theater and everybody, I was raised around a lot of queer people,
Mm.
but that's not having lesbian and gay friends and family doesn't look the same, for example, as having bisexual friends and family. And since most of my friends
Yeah.
in college that were queer were lesbians, I was like, well, I'm not a lesbian, so I must not, which is silly. I have a gender studies degree. I know better, right? But
Yeah.
I was always
Right.
I was always in a straight appearing relationship, and so I never dated women, and whether that was because of internalized concerns. I mean, there were so many red flags or rainbow flags, um, in terms of like just hello. But even when I came out to my best friend, she was like, "Girl, I have seen you kiss girls." Like I was really wondering when this was going to
And
happen
like
because
it.
like you have always found women attractive, like, because she's also bisexual. So she was like, I don't understand. She says in like the
Yeah.
most proper South English accent, like, I just don't understand. Like, I, and it was in a voice memo too. She says this to me because she lives in Manchester. She's British. I'll send her these voice messages, but she was just like, I don't understand. I'm just going to take a moment. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. She's like, why did you say this in a voice memo to me? I'm having a hard time. I thought we had this discussion when I was in the States because she had just gone back to England. And I was like, well, we kind of did, but we kind of didn't. She's like, girl, darling.
Girl,
Yeah, but it's being,
lock
like,
this
real with
in.
yourself. But, like, it's hard too. The language has just evolved so much, and, like, I felt the same, Maude. I was very much so, like, I live in this gray area. I can't explain it. Don't ask me to elaborate. Just this is all, and it's all in my head. So I'm, like,
Yes.
internalizing all of this, and I'm like, "What does this mean?" And it wasn't till I had, like, language to be like, "Okay, I guess that's kinda how I feel," and that wasn't till, like, college, and, I graduated high school in 2016, so like being gay was like just a thing, and like it just didn't get into the nitty gritty of like what that looks like in relationship dynamics. So I definitely resonate with that, and I think as language has like progressed, and also just like the unlearning of a lot of things that have been internalized because we just
Yes.
exist in this world the way we are, it that has a huge impact on that as well. So I feel like this is a story a lot of like my bi friends, a lot of my other pan friends. I'm like, yeah, this is copy paste for all of us because it was either you were a lesbian or you were a gay man. Like there was
Yes.
literally nothing. There's nowhere else for you to fit, and that goes the same. Like I've talked to my partner about this, and I'm like, that goes the same. Like there wasn't this spectrum, Trans wasn't a spectrum either. So like it's so nice to have the language, and I know it stresses some people out, but it really gives a home for others, and I feel like that's how definitely I found my home. And I feel
Yes.
like that is definitely on theme. And so like when I have books, we just did the trans rights readathon. I was like pulling all of these books with like pan characters and trans characters, and I was like, this is my life. I get to read about it, and I like this is
Right?
amazing. People are writing these stories. Like
I
it's such a
know.
joy.
It is. Make Room for Love was like one of my top reads, like a really,
Mm,
really good. Loved that book. And it was an escape, but it was also wonderful to see that love between those two characters and to have trans rep and to have, Asian Pacific rep. Like it was
mhm.
so amazing to have because we can just open a book and see these people
Right.
and have them have joy. It was, yeah, I totally
Yeah.
get that. And I think as a millennial, sometimes it's a little different. Like I think if I had been in high school 10 years later, like I
Mhm.
graduated in 2006. So you and I are 10 years
Yeah.
apart. But that would have been different. I am facing down my 20-year reunion right now. I'm not going because I told my husband, I'm like,
Yeah.
I would have to come out like 500 times and I don't think you understand.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how different people will react to it because some people will be like, I always knew you were queer. Like I always knew.
Right.
I'm
I always
glad
knew.
you do.
I'm like,
Right.
good. I was the last
Why
to know.
didn't
I
you
always
tell
go.
me?
Yeah, I like one of my best like choir like theater friends. We were talking, and he was just like, "I always knew." I was like, "Well, I always knew," and he's like, "Yeah, I know, but like with me, like yes, but you broke a lot of hearts, okay? Even though everyone should have known, you broke a lot of hearts. There were a lot of girls that
Yeah.
loved you." Um, and yeah, he's a sweetheart, but it was always really weird Thinking back now, I wish I'd given myself more grace as a young person. My kid came out to me at
Always.
age 5. So it was not like they were like, I'm non-binary. And I was like, okay, cool. I love you. I'm so glad we
Yeah.
moved to Michigan from Indiana because you would have no rights there right now. So it's really good. I think that my husband and I have always had this feeling that our kid was different as well. And so
Mhm.
when they came out, it really wasn't a surprise. Um, I think we've just always known, like we would go to Pride and like volunteer with organizations before. He's been to Pride since we met. Like we've always been involved. And so it was always like really wonderful to see people out with their kids. And somehow I think we always knew like we would be those parents someday that would show up with their kid to Pride. But I think them coming out, my kiddo coming out was actually the maybe the last thing I needed to just really feel like I needed to live as authentically as I could if they were
Mm.
brave enough at age 5 to do that. Maybe, mom was brave enough a couple of years later to finally live that truth. And so I really appreciate the grace that I've been given to find myself in this process because I always joke that I'm like a baby gay in the body of an elder gay because I don't know what I'm doing. But I also, every time I think about like every rom com I ever watched, I'm like, why are you with this beige man? You should have married your friend. It's like, girl,
Yeah.
Why are
which
you
is
with
very
this beige
relatable for
man?
most queer women. I feel like we
Yeah.
all have been there. And I feel like I
Yes.
got completely screwed out of the best storyline ever. So now I can just write it. I'm just going to write it.
Boom. Oh, perfect.
There it is.
Well, to just segue right off of that, their last question here. If readers take one feeling away from love in the West End, what do you hope it is?
I hope that it is you should be yourself and love who you love, and that it is worth the risk to love somebody and just be honest about it. I think that the book wouldn't have worked if there wasn't miscommunication, which is my least favorite, most favorite thing. But I think if you can just let yourself love and be loved, that is the greatest gift you can give yourself, as trite as that may sound. But I hope people take that away, that like love is love and queer joy is beautiful, and that we should all be able to feel that loved and cared for by a partner at some point in our life, and that our family as we make it is beautiful. Absolutely.
Well said, Maude. Well said. Ooh.
I feel so fuzzy right now.
I know. I'm like vibrating.
What an
I'm
incredible
sorry.
conversation. No,
No,
we love
all the
it.
good feels. All right, so now we will move right into Read the Read. This is where we typically bring our share of reviews for the books that we're reading. But we have asked the lovely Maude to bring reviews of her own books. We're already giggling. This is like the best part because it's just ridiculousness. So lay it on us, Maude. Let's hear it.
Oh my god. I really love when people pick up books that why did you pick this up? What this was not for you. One of the reviews that I pulled was the writing wasn't for me, but I can see if you love theater, you might like this. I don't like theater. Why would you
Why'd you
read
pick it
this?
up?
It's
Why would you
obviously
read this?
the cover has two women dancing on a stage, and that was it. Even the tagline is theater. Like
It's
what?
theater. This is always what we come to. Like we said when we introed this. Like I feel like people. This is always the review. The negative review is always like, "Did you even pick up this book and like think about what you were getting yourself into?
Right.
Did
I
you
hate
even
all
read
these
things?"
Did you
I
read
read
it?
it anyway.
No. Did you read it? Should you have read it? It was not for you, and that's okay. Oh my gosh. The 5-star reviews are wonderful and they make me cry. But I do appreciate 3-star reviews. Okay. I know I probably shouldn't say that, but for me as a reader, when I see a 3-star review, I'm like, that is a real review. And it usually is very balanced. Sometimes it is not. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that there's some reviews that are just mean that will not make people happy and not be helpful. I've got this now. Oh, okay. Love on the West End is a wild and cheesy sapphic romance. That was where we started. Okay. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Alrighty.
Overall, would strongly rec to those looking for a fun, unserious sapphic romance to fill a weekend or just to hate text screenshots to your friends.
That's
And
crazy.
this is the stuff that authors get tagged in and then they wonder why we complain about people tagging us in reviews.
And you know what? Say it. Say it. Because that's wild. Never in my millions, like we said, like if I didn't enjoy something, I'm not going to go there. I have never written a book. I promise you, I probably will not write a book. That is not my jam. I love reading them. I love reading them. So I look at authors, I'm like, you guys are gods in my eyes, because that is not something that I can ever do. I have ADD. It is really hard for me to sit and write a script for the show, let alone a whole book. So I can't imagine then going and being like, this was a piece of garbage and I'm going to tag you in it. That is crazy behavior and you deserve to be put down. So
This review also accused me of torturing gay characters because committing hate crimes against gay characters,
What?
I did not know what I could have done there because yeah, I don't
Okay.
know if that book, like on top of that nasty comment, which is just totally not called for, but just
Right.
what crimes did I commit against gay characters? Because the only gay characters I could have committed crimes against were either my main characters or the two gay dads or the gay friends. And I don't think I committed any crimes against any of the gay people in my book.
You're not
But
in the
what?
business of that.
But
No.
it was almost like they didn't understand a third act breakup, which is this does have a third act breakup, spoiler alert. But it's short. It's short. I don't tend to tease those out for an eternity. That said, I'm writing something that does, and I'm sorry, but it's not sapphic.
Warning.
It's also not a
Torture the
straight
streets.
romance.
Oh.
It's not. Well, it's a straight couple, but the romance itself is a little genre bending. So this is something I'm writing to query. I'm getting through it, and hopefully it's different than what I usually write. So sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I do torture those characters quite a bit. But I don't torture queer characters like that.
No.
Good for you.
I don't do
Yeah.
that.
That's wild.
Hate crimes. I committed hate crimes by writing a sapphic romance.
That is
Well, no.
so ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Well, thank you for sharing that absolute mess with us.
Yeah.
I appreciate all of my readers. I really do. I appreciate anybody who leaves a review. I do. But please don't be mean for the sake of being mean. I treat you
Exactly.
with respect. Please treat me with respect. That's all I ask. And don't
Right.
tag me saying that I'm ending feminism, because that was another review I got a couple of years ago that just sent me
Alright.
over the edge.
These people.
I will block you. If you tag me in a
Everyone go touch
negative or
grass.
critical review, I don't care what star rating, it doesn't matter. If it's critical and nasty, I will block you so fast. And it's
Good
just
for you.
protecting
Love
your
that.
peace. Boundaries
Protect that
are
Exactly.
good.
Yeah.
Yes. Block them. That's what we say about this podcast. We're like, you can leave 5 stars, you can leave nothing at all. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
And
Good or
I don't-
nothing.
I don't go and read my reviews, but these are NetGalley reviews. So I get them, either I get tagged in them and then I screenshot it and send it to all my friends in gray, because that's what you should do as an author, is a group chat, not post on
Mhm.
social media. Or I get NetGalley reviews sent directly to me, but another author gave me a great tip, which is send those suckers to a separate inbox, because you don't want to read them until you're in the mental headspace to have to go through and read them. But I don't go on Goodreads at all. I don't go on Goodreads. I don't read my reviews. I have other people pull 5-star reviews for me to review, but I don't read them.
No, that's absolutely fair. I
Reader
actually didn't know
space.
that about NetGalley. I'm always curious. And I'm on a redemption arc for my feedback ratio. So
I
I'm in
care
there.
way less. I care way less about feedback ratio. If you want some insight, I think authors care less about feedback ratio than they do if you have
Good.
1-star reviewed a whole bunch of books and said you DNF'd
Oh.
them. and left a 1-star review, that is a red flag for me. Or I don't give out ARCs to other authors who apply
Mm,
through NetGalley, because that is also a red flag for me. But if you send me a message and say I want to do a book swap, or I want to like talk about our books and do like a collab, I will be 100% down.
yeah,
100%.
friendly. That's
Yeah.
so interesting. Yeah. I mean, obviously I don't know if it's obvious, but we don't come from like publishing backgrounds, or, we're not authors. So we always learn something when we chat with you. And
Yeah.
I'm so curious about like behind the curtain, not to be too thick with the puns here or anything, but I love getting the peek behind the curtain when we talk to you wonderful authors.
Yeah. If you tag an author and they find out on NetGalley, you will just see the number of approvals dive, because we all talk and we all
Hmm.
know. And that's really what people are looking for when they're going through your Goodreads is, are you mean for the sake of being mean? Do you 1-star a bunch of books and DNF them? Like I had somebody apply with a 2.5 average rating for Love in the West
Ooh,
End. And I was like, oh hell no. You are not getting my baby.
No.
You can
No,
buy
no.
because
it
you're
and hate it.
addicted to being miserable.
Right,
No.
you like being mean, and that's just.
Yeah.
I have found
Got it.
like my favorite book of my favorite read of last year was an arc through NetGalley, and I'm like, so I feel like I was part of a little special club because I got to read this first. Like it feels so rewarding. I would never, even if I didn't like it, I wouldn't be on there like this was terrible. That just feels like crazy behavior. Like
Yeah, that's not who we are.
no, not at
No.
my core.
And I feel like most readers aren't like that, because they want to love a book. They go into it. And even if
Exactly.
they're going to critique it, they still want to critique it fairly. Um,
Right.
but that's why I tell newer authors never to read their reviews, because like you said, you're not in the publishing industry. You guys are not editors. I hear a lot of new authors go, oh, I am going to use my reviews to improve my writing. And it's like, you still feel like you needed to improve your writing that much. You need a better editor. You need to
Mm,
hire somebody to give your book a better developmental edit, because readers are not responsible for improving your book,
right.
and they're not experts in publishing. And you're going to get a million different things from a million different readers. Like I'm finding that American readers did not get Lotus's humor the same way that British readers did, because British readers loved it and loved her, but sometimes Americans found her kind of dry, and they didn't get that. That's very British of her. She's quite
Mhm.
British. And so you're going to get different things from different readers. That's just how it is. And when I go through and look at reviews to see if I'm going to pick up a book, I usually look at 3 stars and I go, well, because sometimes they'll complain about the spice level. And
Right.
I'm like,
Right. What did the middle
plus.
of the pack think?
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's a 1-star review and it mentions spice, I'm like picking that up. That's
Yeah.
what I need.
Okay. With that, thank you so much for being here. This conversation was really fun and it expanded so far beyond just your book. And I feel like
I'm
we touched on
sorry.
so many incredible things.
Never
We have
apologize.
so much in common.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to plug before we part ways?
Yes, I can tell you guys, I will say this. If you readers, listeners, whoever feel interested at all in the stuff that I'm putting out, join my newsletter, because I have lots of freebies and announcements and ARC announcements specifically coming up. Love on the Main Stage is coming out at the end of the summer, and I'm going to have ARCs available midsummer. So if you like Eurovision and Princess Diaries, and you like a soft mask femme pairing,
Whoa.
I have a book for you. And I think Mary, who's the soft mask, she's probably the coolest character I've ever written in my life. So I'm super excited. The Eurovision drama is insane. And
Oh, I'm
I
so
hope it will
excited.
make people happy. Like I loved writing it because I got to write an entire EP, lay out an entire album, and then make up a bunch of bands like in a Eurovision-esque universe.
Oh my
So
gosh.
fun.
And they're so weird, and I love it. I love Eurovision for its weirdness. And so if you're
Same.
interested in
Mhm.
Eurovision and a romance with 2 hot chicks, you need to sign up for my newsletter, because I'll be posting more there, and also we'll be doing bonus content for Love in the West End. Um, and yeah, I will be releasing more books this year, so definitely check it out.
Well, thank you so much for joining
Yes.
us.
Hold on, one more thing. Where can people find you?
Yes.
Oh, yes, you can find me on Instagram at Maude_Winters. Winters_fiction. And on TikTok at Maude Winters. And then obviously, if you go to maudewinters.com, you can find my newsletter there, or go to either of those social links and it'll link you to my links page that will have that information. But you can join my newsletter and become my friend in the internet lands. I sound like I work in technology. So I work in fintech. I
Internet
know how to
land.
speak English as well, believe it or not. I don't have a fancy English degree, but I can speak it, supposedly, and write it, supposedly.
Apparently.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Well, thank you so much for coming on with us, Maude. This was such a treat, like Johnna said. And until then, we will see you babies
at
at
the
the
library.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.